Here's a really simple version of heart lace that may be accomplished on absolutely any knitting machine. We'll do it by manually moving stitches over to create eyelets. When we empty a needle, we need to make sure it stays in work so it starts picking up yarn and knitting again. Any smooth yarn and a weight suitable to the machine you're working on may be used. I am using a Red Heart Super Saver yarn on a bulky. For lace, I'm using stitch size 5 on this machine, whereas for most garments, I might use stitch size 6, but I think the lace looks better in a fairly firm fabric. Here's the chart I'm working with. Every dot indicates a position where we create an eyelet by moving the stitch that was on that needle over one needle. Up to this point, we will be moving the stitches outward to the next needle out from the center. Beginning on this row, we'll start moving them towards the center instead. The stitches in this column are the center stitches of the pattern, so obviously they cannot be moved towards the center, and you may choose which direction to move them. We'll work with 13 stitches. You may work with another number, but it should be an odd number if it's important to center the heart, as it would be, say, making a headband or a little purse or something. It helps to use a little bit of weight on the fabric because that will prevent the transferred stitches from trying to jump off of the needles. This lace looks nice around a hat brim, especially if you use a hung hem with a contrasting inner layer. That will really make the lace show up. You can also make a great headband, and it is a nice hem for a little girl's dress too. I tend to bring forward all the needles that are involved in the lace transfers for this row, including those needles that receive a transferred stitch. It is not essential that you do so, but bringing them forward and having the carriage knit them back from hold does prevent some mishaps in terms of stitches that didn't get perfectly seated and drop off and create surprises that you didn't want. This is the last time that we will transfer outwards. On the following row, we will begin moving the stitches inwards when we create the eyelets. We're using on this row the same column of stitches as was transferred last time, but changing direction. Each row on the chart actually represents 2 rows of knitting, so we make a transfer, then knit 2 rows, then make the next transfer. Our transfers are now moving inward, and this row there are 3 of them. We'll knit 2 more rows, and the final transfer. This will complete the heart. Let's knit a few rows, get it off the machine, and have a look. As you can see, it only takes a few minutes to make a single heart, and if you wanted to do the hem of an entire hat, it would only take a few minutes more, because the remainder of the hat will be simplicity itself.